You went and told security.
Hello, mate, you alright?
Don't even speak to me.
I'm allowed to speak to you. I'm allowed to speak to you. Pardon? What are you doing here, that's all?
Let's take pictures.
Huh? Come and speak to you.
I don't know what you're doing there. Why are you here?
I'll come speak to you.
No, why are you here?
Huh? For the King's coronation.
Yeah, but what are you doing?
What do you mean, what am I doing? Working.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm just trying to have a conversation with you. There's no need to be rude.
I'm not being rude.
You were being rude. I come over here, the first thing you said to me was, don't you even
London
dare.
people are strange, aren't
You
they?
said, don't you even dare. That's the first thing you said to me.
Exactly, because you can't
Did you? I thought you. Did you not call him an asshole? Did you not call him an asshole? Did you call him an asshole?
I didn't. No.
It sounded like that.
Oh, but my camera's
Oh,
on.
sorry. If you didn't.
Switch it on when you got it.
Okay.
And you haven't even told me yet.
I don't need to tell you.
Yes, you did.
No, I don't.
Yes, you did.
You did.
5.1, 5.5.
You know, we know.
I'm trying to come out here and have a conversation with you. No, I'm trying to have a conversation with you.
Right.
Okay, because it's been raised to us that you're out here taking photos of people threatening to go to the toilet on the wall they put up, things like that. It will be, yeah. If you go to the toilet on it, yeah.
Threatening
If I shoot him in the head, that'll be a crime as well, won't
Yeah,
it?
it will, yeah.
Well, I've not done it.
Okay, but you're still threatening it, aren't you? So
What, threatening to have a pee against the wall?
part of our job is prevention of crime, isn't it?
Threats of criminal damage?
Part of our job is prevention of crime, isn't it?
What? Criminal damage being on a wall?
Yeah.
Peeing on the wall is criminal damage.
Is it, heck?
You're
Serious? It's not criminal damage.
You're tarnishing us all with the
Is it
same.
not a public order offence? Not criminal damage. Surely?
shite name.
Seriously? I didn't know that.
Why are you so angry?
How many of them have been raping and murdering and all sorts of things, yeah? Lately.
Okay.
How many? You're not interested now?
I'm trying to have a conversation with you. That's got nothing to do with what we're here talking to. Okay. Continue swearing, sir. You'll be committing a public order offence. Right?
You need a member.
Pull that one, boy.
Who's going to make the argument?
You go and learn some law before you come dictate to me, okay?
Okay. I've been through training.
Alright everyone, buckle up, because today's video is one of the most bizarre, tense, and unexpectedly dramatic encounters we've seen in a long time. We're at a National Grid facility in Bristol, a location that already triggers heightened alertness because it's tied to critical infrastructure. But what happens when a lone filmer with a camera and a drone walks up to the site? Instant suspicion, immediate escalation, and a whole lot of confusion. Right from the first few seconds, an officer storms into frame demanding ID under Section 50 of the Police Reform Act, a power that only applies to antisocial behavior. Filming, by itself, is not antisocial, but this officer jumps straight into enforcement mode, treating the situation like a threat before even gathering facts.
Why are you being quite aggressive?
No, he's not being aggressive. We're just being because we.
Sorry, mate. He's being aggressive.
No, he isn't.
I'm trying to have a conversation.
He's not being aggressive, sir.
Reacting to me. How
I'm reacting to
how
your
have I
behaviour.
provoked you in any way to
I've
speak like
reacted
this?
to their behaviour.
How have I provoked you in any way to speak to us like this?
They're treating us like criminals on a public street.
If we've been asked to film out here, you were taking photos of them and buildings and all that sort of stuff, and they asked you why, and then it's all erupted. They just asked us to come out and ask you what's going on, why are you taking photos of them, that sort of stuff. Okay, they've asked you to move on, you threatened to piss up walls.
I haven't.
Criminal damage, isn't it?
I don't know. I didn't hear that conversation.
But that's why we're out here, just having a conversation.
Yeah.
Not trying to cause any arguments or anything like that. We're just asking what's going
Why
on.
is it not?
That's it.
Why is it not?
Because you
Well, like I say, there's not. At the end of the day, I don't know what the problem is.
It's going in and out of this hotel.
No.
It's not bollocks. So
How long was I stood down there?
I don't know.
Right.
They've raised the concern that you're stood down there trying to take photos of members of the public and, calling harassment alarms to
Trying to take
people.
members.
What photos in the public?
That's what they've said to us.
Yeah, but you know that you should have put them right on that.
Which is part of the reason we're here trying to talk to you.
Yeah, but you should have put them right on that. I'm not being aggressive with you, sir.
Okay, well...
Right, so you come with me then, and you go tell them.
You're not going anywhere close.
A member of the public is allowed to be on this road, and a member of the public...
Okay, this is a sterile area that they're trying to keep
A
sterile.
member of the public is allowed to take photographs on this road.
They're trying to keep this area sterile. Okay, yes they are. They've
So why
explained
didn't they
it to us.
approach me when I first arrived?
They have approached you.
Well, 15 minutes later.
Okay, because you weren't moving
I've been
on. Because you weren't moving on. People are
You're
allowed
being
to walk-
rude now.
people-
You're being rude.
People are allowed to walk
Let
through.
me speak.
People are allowed to walk through.
God.
Here's the first major red flag. Notice how quickly the officer jumps to "I require your ID" under Section 50. That power can only be used when a person is acting in a way that causes harassment, alarm, or distress, which the filmer clearly isn't. This is a classic example of an officer misunderstanding or misusing authority out of discomfort rather than lawful necessity. The filmer pushes back politely, reminding him to keep it civil. This is key. A calm, assertive tone changes the entire dynamic. If you're watching this, ask yourself, how would you react if an officer demanded your details without legal grounds? Most people panic. But here, the filmer stays cool.
Sterile area. It is, they're keeping this path free.
Are you his superior? Well, why are you standing allowing him to tell lies?
We
It's not lying though, is it? If he was lying, I'd step in.
No, but it's a public footpath. We haven't brought barriers or anything like that.
Shut up
Yeah,
unless it's
Don't
1
be rude.
minute.
Don't be rude.
The half here is obviously where the King's coronation parade and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah,
obviously we've got concerns about people trying to interrupt the coronation.
No, but we're not here to do that. I promise you that, miss. Yeah, we're here just to take photos and videos, right?
Exactly.
So basically, where you put the green fences, you don't want us beyond that. I get that, yeah?
Right. And these guys don't want you taking photos of them. This is a high-profile hotel, a high-profile personnel have been staying in.
Yeah,
They're trying to keep this as sterile as possible because there's high-profile people staying in this hotel.
No, but miss, what I'm saying is, like...
So they
Well,
don't
not
want
according
you
to them. I've been stood talking to the guys on the
here
step for
taking
15
photos,
minutes.
being argumentative. That's all they're asking,
Right.
that you move away from this area. That's it.
Are you gonna
Miss,
listen?
all I'm saying is, like, end of the day, wherever I went with my camera, filming, yeah, with this, basically, there was no complaint that I was taking pictures of anybody, but basically, what the police should do in that instance is say, look, he's in a public space, and there's no law against taking photography in a public space against any individual. We can be recorded like we are. I'm being recorded as we speak, off numerous cameras, and I'm not complaining against that. So I would expect police in that instance just to say, look, he's not, if he ain't committing no crimes, just leave him be.
But they've asked us to come and have a chat because he's been asked to move away and he's become agitated and aggressive and whatnot. I wasn't there, so I haven't witnessed it. You know what I mean? That's what we've been told.
I didn't witness that.
To the tone, the staff member goes from mildly confused to instantly defensive. The idea of a drone creates this automatic association with danger or illegality. Even though drone flight over non-restricted airspace is completely lawful, what makes this moment interesting is how politely the filmer explains the plan. No confrontation, no raised voice, just transparency. But transparency doesn't prevent panic when people don't understand the rules. This exchange shows how quickly fear can override facts. Viewers, have you noticed how often simply mentioning a drone makes people assume it's illegal?
Reports this morning, taking pictures, security personnel, and it's like we're getting sick of it, miss.
Yeah, and I can appreciate that because you are entitled to, but if they've asked you not to, and you carry on, they've asked you not to. If I kept taking photos of you while you're at work...
No, but that weren't the argument. So basically, right, he was taking pictures, this is what he told me, of the building, and they asked him not to do that. So therefore, they have no right to tell him to stop taking pictures at the building, right? So if the police come over, I expect you to perhaps just say, well, look, just you carry on with your day. He can take pictures of the building.
All we've done, as soon as he come up, he said, come here, tried to have a chat with him, and he's gone, don't you fucking dare, or whatever he said, don't you dare, I didn't hear it, right? And it was acted like this. That raises our suspicion that he's up to something untoward. Yeah, I hope you can...
No, not untoward. I'll explain for him. He's angry because basically we're sick of getting challenged. We've only been out for an hour and a half, and everybody keeps telling us...
I'm not being funny, sir. During a high-profile incident like this, a high-profile thing where there's a lot of members of other states around, members of other states, you can appreciate, if you're taking lots of photos of security and all that sort of stuff, it's going to raise our suspicions that you're trying to do something. I'm not saying you are.
So you've had a talk.
If you're here taking photos of here, what benefit have you got of taking a photo of this?
Because I'll answer that, although I don't have to.
Yeah.
I will answer it for you. I'm a visitor to London, so therefore I want to get as much footage of the whole event that I can, right? For no ill intent purposes. So, I'm just explaining on a lighter note to you that I'm not here to cause you problems.
This part almost feels like a comedy sketch. Multiple staff members repeating the same question, talking over each other, and demanding the camera be put down for no lawful reason. Meanwhile, they're surrounded by CCTV cameras pointing straight at the public. This is the perfect example of situational hypocrisy. People object to being filmed by an individual, yet accept constant surveillance from institutions without blinking. Notice how the filmer stays calm, repeating his purpose with zero escalation. That consistency is strategic. It prevents anyone from twisting the narrative. Have you ever been filmed in public and felt uncomfortable, even though you know it's allowed? Why does a handheld camera feel so...
breach any fences or try and do anything like that, you know what I mean?
We don't know that, do we?
I'm telling you.
Until you come up to us and have a conversation like we are, we don't know that, do we?
Yeah. Well, that's my word. I'm here just to film.
But if you're stood here just taking a photo of them, they've got the right to challenge you as to what's going on.
They can ask it all they want, yeah, I get that.
And you can say, I'm allowed to take photos in a private place. If they ask you to move on, take it that they're asking you to move on for a reason. You know, they're trying to keep this area as sterile as possible. At the end of the day, half a mile in that direction, or where those buildings are, is where the new king is going to be going to. Across,
and that's why you've set your barriers. That's why you've set your barriers here, and you don't want us going beyond the barriers.
So you can record, you can take photos in a public place. There's no problem. All right. But if they ask you to move on, then I suggest that you just move on quietly. There's no benefit of taking a photo here.
No, you don't know that, though, miss.
But if you've taken a photo of it, you've taken some recording, nothing's going to change. I mean, it's going to stay like this now. For
no, but that's why I'm saying I've got my footage now, and we're only having a talk due to a conversation that you've come over. So basically, I'm happy that I've already got my footage of here. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, but I would also like the personnel to know that if we wanted to stay on the street that's open to public, we can do it also, you know. Even though I'm finished, it'd be good for the security personnel to know that as long as we're not trying to breach anything or get in anybody's way.
But you can understand why they're very heightened.
I understand. And that's the reason why I've gone the extra mile to try and speak to you and say, look,
I appreciate that.
I'm not here to cause you any hostility. No, I'm not here to cause you any security.
By this point, you can really see how the filmer shifts back into documenting mode, focusing on entrances, exits, and general surroundings. This is what throws the staff off. The conversation has ended, but he's still filming. To them, it feels defiant, but to him, it's simply content creation. This tension between public rights and organizational discomfort fuels nearly every audit video online. It raises the question, should legality alone justify behavior, or should public sensitivity matter too? And if so, where's the line? One thing's clear, staying calm and continuing your lawful activity is often the strongest.
But basically, we think this is quite bizarre, you know, like how, you know, just because of a select few that people have to be restricted like this. And I understand the king's been coronated and stuff, but it's just crazy how security just coming, oh, you can't do this, you can't do that, and it's like, why? We're not even doing anything, we're not doing any harm. I think when in regards to the wee situation, he has to go to the toilet, and they looked him up and down and went, definitely not. They sort of disrespected him by looking him up and down as if to say, you're not good enough to come in here, right? So that's got his back up. So
I can kind of appreciate that, but at the same time,
do you know what I mean?
They've got a job to do. Obviously, they don't work for us, we don't work for them.
Yeah.
This is where things get messy. The staff repeat that everything is private property, but the filmer is clearly standing on a public access road. These moments expose how poorly many people understand land ownership and public rights of way. A place feels private because it's behind a gate or involves security, but that doesn't make the surrounding roads private. This is also where emotional patience starts slipping. The worker is frustrated, not because the filmer is breaking rules, but because the situation feels uncomfortable. And discomfort often gets mistaken for illegality. Ask yourself, should public misunderstanding be enough to restrict someone's lawful activity? Or should training and knowledge bridge that gap?
I don't know what they've been told and what they haven't been told.
No. Well, can you imagine this, right? So I don't know your annual salary, right? Can you imagine out of your civvies, right? You go to somewhere and they're all swanky top of the range hotels, and you ask for something in a need of like emergency, like a wee or something, and they look you up and down just because it's a day like this, right? Can you imagine how disrespectful you?
I can appreciate that.
Point of the entire encounter. All the confusion, accusations, and resistance build up to this moment, and it changes everything. The drone lifts smoothly, stays within visual line of sight, and operates entirely within the law. Suddenly, we see the facility from above, calm and orderly. The tension on the ground contrasts sharply with the serenity of the aerial view. This is where the power dynamic subtly flips. When the drone is in the air, the filmer is in complete control. No one can interrupt,